give you introduction to that. This presentation is from one of the foremost policymakers in our national education. Sri Lanka's national education is a foremost policymaker. I welcome him because I have worked with him for some time, for a short period of time. I know this gentleman before I introduce you. So he's an educational policymaker with a future in mind and a marketing of ideas backed by empirical evidences. That's what I have. This is my personal thoughts about our next speaker. Someone who talks about educational policy with the future in mind. He's a guy who thinks outside the box, and he's a great marketer of his ideas. He's none other than Director General of National Institute of Education in Sri Lanka. He have a list of education qualifications and achievements, but he's a well-known person in this country. So without further ado, I would like to give him the full time that he has, which is 20 minutes for the presentation. And then, of course, he should have more time to elaborate his points. So let me introduce you Dr. Sunil Jayantha Nawarathne, who is the Director General of National Institute of Education.
Hi.
Dr. Hi, Sunil. How are you, Dr. Nawarathne?
Hi, Ivan, Mr. Manamperi.
Ivan.
Thank you very much. Ivan, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thanks so much for giving me this opportunity. And by using my slides, I will use this presentation. As you can see, I have to go back. Can I move? Something wrong with my PowerPoint. Okay, let me go back. And I think after the COVID-19, we had a bigger chance to think again, think differently and think creatively. In that sense, we want to bounce back with internet and e-learning, and we have to think differently how to change the education. So I would like to use this great opportunity to explain how are you going to use education for our national development. Excellency President also thinking about the future vision, national development, and he is very keen on transforming education. So transforming education, transform Sri Lanka is my tagline. So if you want to transform Sri Lanka and if you want to achieve national development, transform education is the key. So vision for Sri Lanka to be the developed and peaceful nation with $20,000 or more per capita income, but by 2035. At least we should plan and we should target to be a developed nation by 2035 with 12,000 per capita income of dollars. Why 12,000? That is the World Bank definition of being a developed nation. Now you know how much is our per capita. Our per capita income today is $4,000. So it took 70 years to come to this level. After 1950 to 2020, it's 70 years. So achieve 12,000, it might take another 140 years if we go like this. But if the government can get together with the private sector, public sector, people sector, and also the political sector, I call 4 Ps, definitely we can achieve our developed nation status by 2032, even before 3 years of 2035. But one condition, that is, we have to achieve 10% growth rate. 10% is not an easy task, but definitely not impossible if you work hard with all P's, four P's together, as I explained. You can see the real GDP growth during the last uh, 11 years. See, 2009, while we were having war, it was 3.5, but later, just after the war, 2010, 8, 8.4, like 9.1. So if you plan properly and uh, give incentives and all the strategies are aligned towards this, definitely 10% growth is not impossible. Therefore, becoming a developed nation within next 30 to 15 years is not a dream and a reality. But as you all can see, we should work together. In other case, private sector is the engine, but public sector should work as the gearbox. Gearbox. So gearbox should support the engine. We have a very small engine like motorcycle engine, but we have a huge gearbox. It doesn't support. People should work as the wheels. People sector. So wheels are not aligned with the development, and political sector should work as the visionary and driver. And I think all four P's should work. Now you can see the Western province focus development in our country. It's around 42%. All other provinces produce around 10 to 5-6%. So what we have to do is we have to reduce this regional disparity by growing the regional areas, regional districts and regional provinces. For that, private sector has a bigger role to play, and public sector should give fullest cooperation and support to the private sector. I think it's a must. And also, political sector should give the leadership, and people sector should take that advantage. So, Minister of Education, as the Human Capital Development Ministry, develop and retrain human resources and capital. Actually, to support this development, we have to retrain and develop the human capital, because our people's mindset, even the business people, the normal politicians, and public sector and the private sector should rethink and retrain our human capital to support this development. That is also very important. So I will show you the examples. In 1950, 89, our per capita was $89. Japan was 90, and at that time, Singapore was a part of Malaysia. It was $30. Actually, Malaysia is the country was there, and Singapore created in 1965. Now you can see in 2004, our per capita income was 1,051, and now 4,000. Singapore, Japan from 90 to 48,000, it has increased, and Singapore 64,000, and Malaysia 12,000. As Mr. Chari was explained, Malaysia is one of the good countries to get examples. So now, why don't Sri Lanka work toward this 12,000 at least next 15 to 20 years? So see the exchange rates, and also our exchange rates are deteriorating. As a country, we should think like Japan. Japan think based on KKKB. First K is country, and second K is Kaisha, or the Kuni. Kuni is the country, Kaisha is the organization, and Kasoku is the family. In Japan, they think Boku at last. Boku means love, self. So how about our country? In Sri Lanka, self or the Boku first, then family, sometimes the organization, lastly country. So we have to change this paradigm to other way through our education. As results, so you can see our the environment is changing from 1970 to 2010, the other way, other round. But unfortunately, our education system has not changed much. So education should match with the environmental changes, and the corporations, companies, public sector also should match with the environmental changes. So that is called strategic approach. In other words, we have to have effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness means doing the right thing. So we have to do the right thing. At the same time, we can do wrong thing. On the other way, efficiency. Efficiency means do the things right. We have to do the right thing right way. So we can do the right way and wrong way. So our final challenge is to play the right thing in right way. At the same time, we can do wrong thing in right way, or right thing in wrong way, and wrong thing in wrong way. So why Sri Lanka has less development? I think we are not doing the right thing in right way. So maybe we are doing the wrong thing in right way. Maybe we have to get the things right, then we can play in the first stage. Then on the other way, if you are doing the right thing wrong way, we can get the way corrected and come to the first stage. Or on the other way, if you are doing the wrong thing in wrong way, we have to get corrected both. So that is a fundamental theory I want to explain, because now maybe we are doing the right thing in right way. It is around 25% normally when I ask the question. That means 75% people or the public sector and private sector are doing on the other way. So let's try to think on this way. Then I'm going to explain what is fourth industrial revolution. Fourth industrial revolution is first industrial revolution based on 1700 years around, and its steam engine and mechanization of the factories. Then in 1800s years or after, electricity was found, the second industrial revolution was started. Then in 1900s, 90s, computing started, and uh, the third industrial revolution started. Now we are heading towards, or today, in connectivity, and all these things are working together. So we are in the fourth industrial revolution, but our education may be still matching with the first industrial revolution or second industrial revolution. That is the problem. So if you want to match with the first industrial, third industrial, fourth industrial revolution, so thinking skills, digital skills, and personal skills has to be updated. So that is a must. So personal skills like communication, teamwork, professionalism, motivation, management, integrity, reliability, adaptability, all these things has to be uh, trained or adapted by the personal skills for the person. A person who is going to the job market. Even the companies are asking for this. Even your present employees should improve those qualities. So you can use the friends and families, K-12 or K-12 education things can be used to update them. Then the thinking skills, also very important, like creativity, problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, all these thinking skills are must. So schools should be helped to improve this with the companies and all. On the other way, digital skills also using how to use internet, email, all these things are must, even Zoom. So now after COVID, we are using Zoom and Teams very much, so as new tools to communicate. And in fourth industrial revolution, big data is playing a big role, and artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and robotics, 3D printing, augmented reality, and driverless vehicles, drones, all these things will come into the scene. So we have to get ready for those. At the same time, as Mr. Charis explained, we have to cut the cost down. Cost cutting also very important, and working from home and using internet and all these things matters a lot. Therefore, 21st century competencies and skills can be defined in various using keywords: outcome-based education, deeper learning, 21st century skills, global competencies, college and career readiness, employability skills, student-centered learning, next generation learnings, new basic skills, higher order thinking, authentic learning, phenomenon-based learning, uh, technical, human, and perceptual skills, blended learning versus and virtual learning. All these are matters a lot. So therefore, today we are focusing on blended and virtual learning, but to match with the 21st century, all these other things also matters a lot. So, 21st century learning has been defined by the Partnership for 21st Century Skills. The Partnership for 21st Century Skills has defined that develop a unified framework for 21st century learning and education support system can prepare young people for a global competencies. You can see uh, the life and career skills. In addition, on top of the key subject knowledge, we call 3R, reading, writing, and arithmetic. On the top of that, we have the life and career skills, learning and innovative skills, as I explained, 4Cs: creative thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, and uh, the other aspects of the 21st century. So now you can see 21st century skills, uh, in other words, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, and there are altogether 12 skills: information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, flexibility, leadership, innovativeness, productivity, social skills. So if you want to produce a good human capital, good human resources in your company, all these skills are very important to be developed. Therefore, our curriculum has to be redesigned to support this core and co-curriculum, CORE, core plus CO curriculum, that is core. In other words, on your left, you can see the 21st century skills. Then core subjects are STEAM subjects called science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Then to improve the literacy skills for information, media, technology literacy, and life skills, flexibility, leadership, innovativeness, and productivity. On top of that, as core curricula, we have to include in our curriculum sports, association, social activities, curating, scouting. In future, under the leadership of present Education Minister, Mr. Dalasala Peruma, we are going to include all these things into our curriculum to get the 360 well well trained person to be produced in the education system. On the other hand, you can see interdisciplinary knowledge and the skills also very important. So new learning paradigm equation. So now we can develop a new learning paradigm equation like JR21CS equal, it's a function of PCS plus TLIS, CLS, and DLS. What do you mean? JR21CS is a job readiness with 21st century skills. That which one I explained. Then PCS, traditional core skills: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Then LIS, learning and innovation skills: critical thinking, problem solving, etc. And CLS, career and life skills: flexibility, adaptability, initiativeness, teamwork, and leadership, etc. Then finally, DLS, digital literacy skills, uh, technological proficiency, digital fluency, computing, media, and information literacy. So if a person don't have all these areas covered, he cannot be defined as a total person. I call full option graduate. So those days, basic skills or knowledge was enough to become a human resource. Today, we have to produce this total human capital with all these traditional core subjects plus learning and innovation skills, career and life skills, and the digital literacy skills, etc. So, in other words, market is asking for KSAM graduates. What do you mean KSAM employees? KSAM graduates. Knowledge is stand for K, that is the theoretical and practical. Most of our students are good in theoretical knowledge, but not good in practical knowledge. Therefore, it is very important to cover practical aspects also. The skills are technical, human, conceptual skills, or the creativity, critical thinking, all these skills are covered. And plus the other skills I explained in the earlier slide. Then the affectives. Affectives is the soft skills like attitudes, values, professionalism, relationships, and vision for life. In other words, is character and citizenship. The other way, so this KSA was they are known, and we develop new model called KSA model, that is adding the mindset. How they perceive the world. They have to upgrade their knowledge, skills, and affectives with the changing environment through lifelong learning. In other words, he has to update his mindset and paradigms. If most of the people are not updating their mindset and paradigm, they become obsolete and they do the wrong thing believing it is correct. As I explained you, the effectiveness and mindset has a direct link. So mindset, if it is older, outdated, this effectiveness also becoming low. So therefore, mindset update, continuously upgrade and updating mindset is a must. This model was developed by us in 2013. So today market is asking for PSAM graduate, but some organizations and some education institutes are producing only half K graduates, that is theory only. So that is the gap we have to fill this. In other words, all the person is the key. So your motives, your self-control, your moods, your emotions, your self-efficiency, your self-realization, your values, all these things are around with the person. So we have to develop this whole person to match with the market. In other words, if I use that KSIM graduate model after A level, O level, and the university, we have to develop theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge, that skills and the affectives, plus the mindset and paradigm. So if a person is having all these elements, we can call him a full option graduate. In other words, this is like a clock. If you see the clock phase, 12 to 3, 3 to 6, and 6 to 9. So normally theoretical knowledge covers only 90 degrees, that is 9 to 12 area. But out of 360, 90%, 90 degrees is not enough. To O level, A level, we see the theoretical knowledge only. So practical knowledge is missing. So we have to add balance 90% or 90 degree by giving them a good practical knowledge. For example, a lot of people are having computer driving license or computer diplomas, but they cannot operate the computer. Sometimes they have the driving license, but they cannot drive. So practical knowledge is very much. Then skills, then affectives, as I explained, then the mindset. So this market is asking for a whole person. For that, we have to target from a KSAM graduate. For that, we have to change the curriculum and redesign the curriculum to produce that KSAM graduate. For that, we have to change the teaching and learning methods and also the assessment system. So if you don't change all these things, you are producing unmatching person. Or if you are a graduate or the student, if you just know only theory, you are not matching with the market. That is very important. And not only that, but also you have to continuously improve your KSAM match with the system, because environment is changing very fast. Normally, Those days it was 100 years. Now it is every 18 months time the world is changing due to rapid technological changes. Therefore, present education system produce on the left hand side person theoretical, negative, reactive, self-centered, and dependent syndrome-based person. But today we are asking a future or the present market is asking for practical, positive, proactive.
Dr. Nawarathne,
Yes,
it's time
5
to
minutes.
start your presentation. So we will take some questions. You can wrap it up. I give you 30 seconds or so.
Yes,
to close it.
okay. So for that, we have to develop this model like this. So Singapore and all, they are changing their values and all the things based on that. So virtual education is the answer one way. When the schools are closed, companies are closed, you can train your people by using virtual education, using internet and other facilities. So blended learning also is coming into the scene. So anywhere, any time, access learning is important. So internet, by using internet, virtual learning strategies can be introduced: Skype, Zoom, Teams, Viber, WhatsApp, etc., etc. By using internet, Moodle, and company training like by using internet. Then most of the state and non-state universities were using the internet to educate their students. If you can go to this UGC website, you can see how they have used. Then television by NIE with the Education Ministry, we use Guru Gatra television channel. Even now, we are telecasting 15 hours a day. Then Nanasala and Learn TV also doing the same thing. So if the student miss that lessons, they can go to channel NIE and learn all these 1,000 programs which we have telecasted up to now. So it's that's then I would like to finalize my presentation with now there's a DP education website. Out of 5,000 world-class courses, you can do 1,200 courses free of charge. You can go to dpuni.org website and you can see how many courses you can do. So if you have internet facility and if you know the keyword, you can do this all free online courses now. Don't worry to go to these things. So this online courses are available. So therefore, education is changing. So finally, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Then,
Dr. Nawarathne, I will ask a summing up question from you.
yes,
I'll compile everything together. I have
yes,
so many questions to ask myself, but I'm not going to do that. So
yeah,
I'm going to read a question that has been asked. This sums up everything. Your topic was virtual education. Your last few slides came to the main topic, and you said that we have to use a lot of virtual technology, digital technology to do the job, get the job done. All this knowledge, technical skills, people skills, and so on and so forth. The body of knowledge that you presented was vast, but well known in the community. Now here's the question. I'll read it because this sums up the challenge. In Sri Lanka, present student generation is belonging to E generation, but 90% of the teachers are belonging to X generation or baby boomers who are not techno savvy. Then there will be a generation gap which will create a problem of meeting the today's expectations. Do you think we need to have a solution for this too? Because the issue is twofold. One, is the technology available to do the transformation? Two, are the people from the past, like you and I and everybody else, are they ready for the job? You got 5 minutes, sir.
yes. Actually, that's why I started to produce the 21st century oriented student through the education. We have to have a 21st century oriented education system and the teachers and the administrators and the technology. So that is what we are planning these days. Actually, ADB is supporting us to implement a project for that with the support of 400 million US dollars. And by using that, with the support of World Bank and other government funds, we want to upgrade and update the teachers' knowledge on technology. So without that, so these days I am training my whole staff in the NIE on this technology. At the same time, we are training our whole teachers around 250,000 towards this end. So, and also we are planning to give POTV and all the other dialogue TV and all to the schools with the support of those companies. And also government is investing heavily to support the teacher training and the teacher's mindset and to make them technological savvy. Not only that, but also the education ministry, policymakers, and directors, regional directors, and also the principals of the system has to be revamped and retrained towards this technological savviness. But I'm happy to say now we are conducting all our exams, applications online. Even for the grade 5, the examination commissioner general has collected all the information application through online. That means we are not that much lagging behind. Our teachers are using Viber, WhatsApp, all this Zoom to teach our students. So therefore, it's not the teachers, but our system is outdated. So we have to upgrade and update the system and their mindset, because they should know what kind of 21st century student needed to support this 21st century requirements. So
Thank you,
that's,
Doctor. Sorry.
yeah,
No, thank
we
you.
have
for
understood very
summarizing.
well.
Yes.
So based on this, we are introducing all these changes, and we are developing new curriculum, teaching learning methods, and teachers and teacher schools, and also the assessment. So we will not assess only on the papers or the theoretical knowledge. We will assess their all case SAMs, theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge, affectives, and the skills and the mindsets.
So you and I are going to wrap this up in 1 minute, Dr. Nawarathne. So I'll give you the punchline. So essentially what you are saying, what you said is there has to be a technological infrastructure development in the country rapidly for the digital learning. And also the mindset of the teachers has to change because the students are ready. I hope just take this thought home, because I don't expect an answer from you. One, when we go to technology, it can immediately stop. You know, today we had an issue in this room. Suddenly the IT internet was not working. So that's one challenge that we will have when you go for technology. So that's something to think about. I'm not expecting an answer from you. And the second thing is what you presented. You've showed us how the country has moved so slowly in terms of GDP growth, so slowly. So the rapid speeding up the process is also important, sir. I thank you very much for presenting some lovely thoughts. And it's a pleasure to see you again on screen. We haven't met each other. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
For the audience, there was a question asked. Thank you very much, Dr. Nawarathne, once more time. Audience were asking questions about whether the